Hey everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. Back on this 2009 Subaru Forester with the water intrusion problem. The owner, he drove it around for a couple weeks. There were a few days of heavy rain, and he said that everything seemed dry. The rear carpet, he felt it seemed fine. So I'm like, well, I had hoped that the fix, plugging that hole in the fender liner, took care of the water leak. But now it's here for more service. I'm doing the head gaskets on it next week, and I decided to lift up the carpets and make sure that everything's dry. And I was a little disappointed. Let's take a look. It was actually outside and dropped below freezing, so when I initially picked up the carpets, it didn't look too bad. But now that it thawed out, we got water. Water. I mean, it looks pretty bad, even though the carpet stayed dry. So we didn't fix this water leak. I'm kind of running out of ideas what it could be. The only way to really test this is just go driving in the rain with the carpet out like this and just see if the water starts coming in somewhere. So, we were worried about this plastic junction box. The water could still be coming down and, migrating through that corner there, but there has to be something else. Now, I did check that the AC drain hose, you can see right there. Let me get my light positioned. So this hose right here, you can take it out. I blew through it. It's perfectly clear. That's not it. So I'm gonna wait for the next rain or snow, wet roads event. I'm gonna mop this up for now, and hopefully we can see where this water comes in. I didn't charge him yet because I didn't confirm the repair, and obviously it's not fixed. So hopefully it'll rain before it really gets cold here, because getting salt water in here would be even worse. But we'll see where it goes. So if you remember last time, we got almost a gallon of water out. This time, maybe, I don't know, a pint. So maybe it got better. It's always possible that there's more than one water leak, but even if we fixed one of them, it doesn't mean it's the biggest one. This foam is still a little wet. There's a little water there. But projects like this are just kind of a pain because you don't have definitive results until it might take weeks to retest your fix. So I don't know. I'll keep you updated. Alright, it's the next morning. We got about 3 inches of snow and then a glazing of ice, so that kind of packed it down, but it is above freezing now. What I'm doing is spraying the whole car while it's still covered in snow, so having like a massive water runoff. And what do we have here? Uh-oh, PCM's getting wet. Oh my word. That's our water leak right there. Try to get that PCM out of the way. That's not good. Wow. It's coming from this blower motor assembly. Interesting. I think we found our problem. There's your problem, lady. We gotta undo that to see where the water's coming from. Pulling out our air filter. There's water right on top of it. That's pretty cool. Oh, man. Interesting. Where's it coming from? I see water everywhere up there. It is coming in through the fresh air intake, it looks like. Oh, let's get some light. Let me give it another burst of water. That blower motor has been being soaked. That's crazy. Alright, there it is. There it is. There's our problem. Ooh, getting splashed here. That's coming through right up there. Dang. Drip, 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 drip. Now we gotta take the cowl off and the windshield wipers and see what exactly is going on there. Alright, so I got the plastic windshield wiper cowl off. Pretty easy, just a couple plastic pins, push pins, slides out. So here's our fresh air intake. And what looks like is happening here, well, first of all, you want to check the perimeter around here, make sure that's all sealed up, and that looks fine. But you see where the water was dripping in, right there, it's wet. It's actually coming from the top here, from this little ledge. See, there's some drips hanging there. So this ledge is supposed to guide water. There's even this like little foam thing. It's supposed to channel water down, and into that drain down there. It's not supposed to go into the fresh air intake. And you can see the drain holes in the cowl. That one right there, and that little guy right there. So those two drain into here and down into here. So theoretically it's supposed to miss this guy, but the water, I think via capillary action, is just managing to go right around this ledge, and you can see it's hanging down right there and dripping right into our fresh air intake. So that's the design flaw here. What is the fix? I've actually seen a YouTube video where a guy takes a plastic bottle and just kind of like covers up the top of this so you can still get the fresh air in, but it's kind of like a shield instead of this stupid thing. And that seemed to work. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. And hopefully this car will stay dry for good. Here's another clue to the water leak if you're experiencing the same problem. This is that plastic shield that covers the underside of the blower motor under the dash here. And you can see, indeed, we have water tracks. This is the bottom of the blower motor. It kind of migrates here, here, and drips down. Also right there. So this guy was just channeling the water right, into here, and then it was just coming down. So let's think of a solution to block this water from getting in. I'll put a link to that other Subaru water leak video. Plastic bottle, maybe cut it in half and just kind of make a little rain shield so the water from this metal piece doesn't make it right into the fresh air intake. So let's get the car in the garage and fab up a rain shield. Alright, so here's the improvised fix. I decided to use a windshield washer jug, kind of cut the side off of it, and it'll be a kind of a shield umbrella form. So I'll just slide it in here, and you want to make sure that there's still enough room for the air, to flow in there while shielding from the water. So we're going to slide this guy in here. Plastics make it possible, right? Make sure that the lip of the bottle is, there you go, around there. And the handle here, we can actually use this little hole to zip tie it. And then any water that drips on here will just roll off. And same on the back side there. So I think that should work. Let me put the zip tie on and make sure it's a final fix. Last little bit of modification to keep this jug closer to the firewall. This ledge right here actually bent down. It's very thin metal, you can bend it down. Just put a little rag over it, long pliers, and tweak it down. That way it'll keep the jug closer to the firewall and covering our vent, but also if the water gets on here, it'll actually drip down along the slope and onto the jug versus getting, you know, under that ledge by capillary reaction and then dripping into you know, on the other side of the jug. So that should solve the problem for good. So let's reassemble everything, but I still think that, you know, the hole that we plugged on the fender liner here with that screw, that was still a contributing factor, because the problem, it seemed like it did improve. You know, before we got a gallon out after not so, you know, like half a day of rain. It's not a very controlled experiment, but it seemed to be less of, you know, less water intrusion after the first fix, but still we didn't get it all the way. So it could be 2 water leaks on your late model Subaru Forester that you have to take care of to fix this problem for good. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. This will be like a part 2, you know, water intrusion revisited. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.